this is the last year that Don Mattingly is eligible, apparently.
Wow.
And that's my guy.
You get 15
Donnie
years.
Baseball. What's your daughter's middle name?
Mattingly.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Donnie Baseball is my guy. He is the guy. I mean, I have,
Have you ever voted?
Did I ever tell you this Mattingly story? I think I may have told it on the NFL Media podcast.
Is this the one where
Typically, when it starts with, have I ever told you this story?
Yeah, I have.
We've heard it about
Yes,
3 or
we've
4
heard
times.
But Del Tufo hasn't, and the rest of the
We
crew
have a
haven't.
new
Maybe
LA
the,
No,
the,
I was
the,
probably mixing that podcast.
the DirecTV / NFL Now / 150 plus affiliate Rich Eisen Show Radio Network audience is not. I was in Michigan freshman year, 1986. This was when the Yankees and Don Mattingly and George Steinbrenner were going at it over the length of Donnie's hair. You remember this, Del Tufo?
Yes, totally.
George wanted him to get his hair cut,
Yep.
and it's sort of as an FU to Steinbrenner. He didn't cut his hair, and Mattingly was going to be a free agent. And I said to myself, as a freshman on the campus of the University of Michigan, when the Yankees were coming to the old Tiger Stadium, I'm going to go down and I'm going to see Don Mattingly, and I'm going to do something about this. I am going to take matters into my own hands and tell Donnie Baseball, do not leave the Yankees. This was when the Yankees were in their drought years, the Steve Kemp years. The years when they were Doug Collins, I think that was his name, right? I mean,
I couldn't name.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
It was brutal. The only shining light was Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly. And I said, I'm going to go down to Tiger Stadium, and I formulated this in my head. The speech I was going to give Don Mattingly, because I was going to be the first one there. And I was going to tell Donnie, for all the people in New York City, all us Yankee fans, you need to tune out this crazy George Steinbrenner, and you must stay the course because you are our guiding light. And I drove to Tiger Stadium and got there when the gates were padlocked. And when they opened them up, I was the first person into Tiger Stadium that day. And when they opened up the gates, I went straight down to the Yankees visitors dugout and belly up to the dugout. And I was going to say my piece to Don Mattingly and personally save the Yankees franchise. And there I was, belly up to the visiting dugout at Tiger Stadium, and the first person out of the clubhouse was none other than Donnie Baseball himself. I was face to face with the man, just as the way I wanted it. And I looked him right in the eye and I said, Donnie Baseball, woo! Woo!
A complete joke.
And he looked at me, spun on his heels, and ran right back into the clubhouse.
Went fanboy on him.
I did.
That's great.
Cut to several years later. I'm now part of the worldwide leader in sports, covering the All-Star Game in Seattle. I believe that was the 2001 All-Star Game, if I'm not mistaken, in Seattle. There I was, covering, as only I could, the celebrity softball contest that was taking place on the field days before the All-Star Game.
It was in Seattle, Rich.
Thank you, sir. There I am. And who is the captain of one of the teams but none other than Don freaking Mattingly? And he comes up to me, because I've been on ESPN now for 5 years. He comes up to me and he says, I've watched you for years. I really enjoy your work. Susie, who was covering it at the time, my wife, covering it at the time for the local Fox Southern California Sports Report, she was there. She took a picture of this moment because I got all verklempt.
For what?
Verklempt. Verklempt.
Got
I got all, you know, this is my guy, Donnie Baseball. This is my guy. And so we had this conversation. We connected. And at the end of it, he goes, nice to meet you. And I said, well, Donnie, we have met before.
Oh, no.
You didn't tell him the story, did
And
you?
I told him the story.
And you creeped him out more?
And I said to him, do you remember this?
right.
And he goes, no. And and pirouetted and ran away again.
Donnie Baseball! Woo!
Cut to last year. Last year, given a chance to throw out the first pitch in
I
Dodger
was there.
Stadium. The manager of the current Los Angeles Dodgers. I know I'm on the Angels radio. They have to excuse me. This is my guy.
Mike Scioscia's on the show tomorrow.
Yes, he is. Fair and balanced. I go up to him with Susie, pregnant, with our soon-to-be-born daughter. Told him the middle name of that girl
You're 0 for 3, Rich. You've struck
is
out.
Mattingly.
Jesus.
The look he gave me was twofold. One, this is not the first time he's been told a child has been named after him. Because I'm not the only one who's this nuts about Donnie Baseball from the Yankee fandom, right? Number two was, I need a restraining order for this man after all of this time.
Oh, man.
What that must be like to have someone tell you their unborn child is named after them.
I don't know. I'd have no one said, but, you know, my kid's name is Eisen. I haven't heard that one yet. We've heard about Espen. You know, there are kids
Right.
named Espen after ESPN.
Sure.
But listen, Donnie had a stretch. He had 6 Grand Slams in 1 year. That's a record. 1 year. The number of times that you come up with the bases loaded is a finite number in your entire career, let alone in a single season. And the number of times that you touch them all when the sacks are loaded is a finite number in your career, let alone a regular season. He had it 6 times, and he went yard each damn one of them.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.